And you guys know, oh yeah, the smell of a new RC car. Out of space. What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. We have the Arrma Gorgon in the house. So big shout out to NZ Hobbies. I went by there and picked this up earlier today. You guys, there's going to be a link below in the description. If you haven't been by his shop, I suggest you go ahead and go by there. Take a look at it. He's a real friendly guy. He's got a lot of stuff in his shop and stuff as well. And he's got more than just Arrma car stuff. He's got a lot of bashing cars, speed cars, bodies, brushless systems, lipos. He's got some of everything in there. So if you guys get a minute and you're in the Georgia area or you're over in that area, go by and just take a look and tell them JT sent you over there. So anyway, we're going to take a look at this. We're going to do a quick unboxing on this vehicle, and then we're actually going to take it out. We're going to do a quick speed test on it, and then we're also going to take it over to the skate park and run it there to see how this vehicle holds up, and probably do a little bashing over in that area too. But you guys know this is the ready to run version. It does come with a 7-cell nickel metal battery and then also a charger with it. And I believe it says smart lipo charger. So this charger can apparently with this also charge lipos, a 2S lipo. Not sure if it's 2 or 3S compatible. Look like it's going to be a 2S compatible lipo charger. So this is a 2-wheel drive vehicle, and it is brushed. It comes with a 550, I believe, 40 turned brushed motor. And it does come with kind of one of those 2-in-1 speed control stuff. I'm not a huge fan of those 2-in-1 speed controls where the speed control and the receiver are actually into one unit, because if something goes wrong with one or the other, then you got to always replace it and stuff. But I know why they did that. They did it to cut down on the cost of it, which is fine. And I believe the servo, you can actually change that up, because sometimes when they do those 2-in-1 systems, you have some kind of proprietary servo, but I believe it's the standard servo that you can use with a regular receiver on there with this. So anyway, let me go ahead and let's get this unboxed and open up and see what we got. All right, y'all, getting this out the box. The truck actually looks good. I mean, cars always look kind of better in person and stuff, so this is no exception to the rule with this. And I did wonder on the body clip stuff, and I'll show that to you guys in just a minute. But this actually is laid out really good. I like the way it looks and stuff. Like I said, this is going to be a kind of a homelander to the Granite voltage. The Granite voltage, and you compare it to this, I guess the Granite voltage would be Soldier Boy, and this would be Homelander. So anyway, the tires on this are do not have any foam or anything in them, so you guys can hear it there. So it kind of gives me that old school Tamiya feel when I first got my Monster Beetle and it got put together. I was doing this all day long. But it does have little vents or little holes in the tires, you see, like right there, in case some water and stuff gets in there, which, you know, if you get this for a kid, they're going to run this through water. So you don't have to worry about water getting inside that foam and then making the tires all wobbly and stuff like that. Have to worry about taking the tire off and squeezing out the foam, where that kind of just messes it up. You can kind of just unglue this and then get that water out of there. You could probably maybe drill another hole or two and get that water out. But that'll be fine for that. The suspension setup is actually good for this. You guys see the way that's set up there for that. So that's actually pretty good too. Now with this body is very interesting, because let me shine a little light. I went ahead and took this off. The body clips are actually clip up in there for the front and for the rear. So with that, it avoids actually having body mount sticking through your body. And I really didn't pay attention to that until I actually got the kit in front of me. And that's going to keep, if you're running this and it's flipping over, from eating up the body mount stuff. So that's actually a pretty good way. I'm glad Arrma did that and thought about that, because this is actually going to be pretty good with that. So turning this around over here, you guys see it does have this kind of a, this is actually going to be plastic in the back of this here for that. So that's actually going to be good if you guys are out there running and doing wheelies and stuff. And I'm pretty sure they'll have a wheelie bar for this as well. And like I mentioned, this does come in a couple of different colors. It comes in this color, then a green color, And then it also comes in a kit version, which is black, where you actually got to put that together with that. But this is what I mean by these body clips. You guys see that in there? You just pull those out there and bam, that comes out. And that just slides in there. And that's actually good. And then the body pin actually is long enough to slide through there. I wish probably they would have gave you at least another body clip or two with this, because you know someone's going to end up losing this at some point. But it's fine. You can always kind of fabricate or make one with that. So looking at the layout of this actually, like I said, looked like the Granite, but it's actually been upgraded, the Granite voltage, that is. I think the chassis may be a tad bit longer too. So you'll notice a couple of things in here. It does have this 2-in-1 speed controller and receiver. That actually looks like it's going to be a pretty good design right there. This is a 25 amp. And yes, it does use a standard servo in there, so that's good. And you guys notice something right here. This is actually a vent or hole where you can put or mount a fan on top of here, and then you can mount that directly into this speed control. So they did kind of think about that. I know some people talked about the motor overheating and all that, but they thought about that. And now you have a hole here to put your fan, or you have a section here to put your fan on there. And this does have a slipper clutch where the voltage didn't. I don't know if this is going to be compatible in parts with it or not, but you have a voltage. You have the slipper clutch that may be compatible with the voltage. I'm not 100% sure on that. But the color scheme matches the body and stuff with this. And then the green matches that. And then I think the black matches whatever the black's going to be with that, the kit version of this. But so far, it's so good. Like I said, this is a 14-turn 550 motor, 25 amp speed control. It's 2S only. And it does kind of have these what's called jumpers in there. I just changed this actually over to LiPo mode because I did go ahead and change this connector. It's got a EC3 on it, and I went ahead and changed it to or IC3. I went ahead and changed it over to IC5. I'm going to be using a 2S LiPo in my first run, and not the nickel metal battery that comes with it, or the 7-cell battery that comes with it. I just want to get a long run time and do a couple of runs and stuff with it. Looking at the shocks and stuff, they are plastic and they're not threaded. They do have spacers and stuff in there, but the suspension setup is actually pretty good straight out the box. You guys can see those draft shafts in there. Those actually look beefy enough with it. And this actually looks like it's going to be pretty beefy and durable, especially stock out the box. Now, when you start going brushless power and all that, it's going to change the game for the durability of it. But pretty much if you go brushless, I say go mild brushless like I'm going to do, probably about a 3300 kV motor, and then leave it at that and get that rolling in there. Of course, for the battery, it's just these two clips, one here and then one on this side. You just actually push these in and push this down, and bam, that actually pops out. You can put your battery in there. I went ahead and I changed that out to a IC5 connector because I'm going to use one of my SMC LiPos, but it kind of slides back up in there, and then you just kind of push that back up on there. There's no big ordeal with that. And that's a quick look at the underneath the chassis there for that. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to finish getting my battery charged up, and then we're going to take this out. We're going to do a speed test with a 2S LiPo. And then we're going to do some running at the skate park and take it off-road and stuff. So we'll do all that in just a minute. So it's going to take me 30 minutes to an hour to get all this ready and get in the car and go over there. But for you guys, it's just going to be just a snap. All right, y'all, first up test is going to be a speed test. I want to see how fast this goes. Now, I'm not using the included nickel metal battery. I actually put a 2S SMC LiPo in there, and it's actually high milliamp LiPo, so I should be able to run for days on that. But anyway, let's go ahead. Let's get this tested. Let's make sure that that's catching, which it is, and try to get this in before it starts raining out here. Now remember, the brush motor isn't even broken in yet, so don't need a lot of space. I will be going brushless with this at some point to see how it handles that brushless power. But anyway, until we cross that bridge, let's see what we got stock out the box. 24. All right, we're gonna take this back down one more time to see what we get. Almost enough power to do a wheelie. I'm pretty sure if you change your gear ratio, you can definitely get that wheelie, but bring this on back down one more time because it's starting to drizzle. I want to get to the skate park next to me before it starts raining too bad. Oh, look at that two-wheel motion. Let's see if we beat that 24 miles per hour. I doubt it, but we'll check and see anyway. Read this real quick. 25. So I'm going to go with 25 miles per hour stock out the box. You might be able to get 26, 27 if you break this brush motor, and once it breaks in, and of course oil the bushings and stuff in it. But let's go ahead and let's go over here, and we're going to hit this skate park right down there. All right, you guys know we come here, we got to do the stairs. I don't think it's going to jump that. Wow. But we landed on our feet, so that is a good thing. So 25 miles per hour is actually not bad at all. We're gonna see how this jumps, so I can get down here and get a little closer. And since it rained earlier, we won't see any skaters out here. I do recommend that you put some spacers in the back of this, because actually, as I was testing this before I brought it out, I was checking on the suspension of it, and it definitely needs some thicker oil if you're going to do jumps like this off-road. Look at that, it's jumping smooth though. It is bottoming out though, so you hear a lot of that chassis slapping, unless I do smooth jumps like that. Look at that. Definitely when I go brushless power, I'll definitely be probably just putting some thicker shock oil in here. Look at that, that's jumping good though. You do have enough power to adjust it in the air, actually. Oh, phooey, now he flipped over. Now I gotta go fetch. All right. Riding that rail. I should have checked to see if this is 32 pitch. I'm pretty sure it is and not 48. Because I'm wondering what's the highest pinion gear I can put in here. This sound like that's kind of slipping a little bit, but we'll see. We'll keep going. I don't think I'm gonna strip the pinion gear. Uh-oh, yep, motor moved. I heard it there. So I gotta check this to see if the motor moved or if it actually stripped the gear in here. So I did bring my tools. Hopefully I got the right tools to go in and check this out. So I'm gonna open this up real quick and we're gonna see what's going on. All right, y'all, so the didn't strip anything just yet because I stopped it right there. But it looks like the motor did move some, and it's a 12, or no, it's a 13 tooth pinion gear. I don't know what the spur is, but I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna adjust this a little bit, and we are getting some rain out here, but I'm gonna take it back out there and try to run it just a little bit more. All right, y'all, all fixed and all good, and the rain did stop. There's some kids down there, but I'm actually gonna go down there in just a minute and run this for a few more minutes, but I do wanna get a couple of runs right here. A lot smoother. So I do recommend, if you get this, to go ahead and check your gear mesh and make sure, that's actually pretty cool, and make sure that the motor is tightened in there and make sure the gear mesh is correct. because one slip will be a bad day for you, because I don't even know if they have all the parts available just yet for this. All right, let's go on back down here. Let's do a couple big jumps before we leave. All right, and this time, let's walk it down the stairs. Let's see how he does. There we go. Actually sounds a lot smoother too. So I think at the price point, Arrma's got a winner here. 169. It's gonna be about 174 with tax. And you know, guys are gonna put lights on this. They're gonna go brushless, which I'm gonna actually do. I wanna see if it can handle brushless power. I think I can fabricate a wheelie bar too, but we'll see. I'm actually gonna do the big jump now. I wanna see if this can take a couple of big jumps or not. So normally I do a double. I hit that one and then I go here and then I hit over there. So let's see. Probably doesn't have enough power to really make that. I know it won't make the big one, but all right, let's try this real quick. Yeah, there you go, land on your feet. That's what we need. Look at this, this is actually going good. How does it compare to the two-wheel drive Stampede? The two-wheel drive Stampede is a very old design, over 20 years. So Traction should have been updated that with some better tires and stuff, but they haven't. The price point, the two-wheel drive Stampede, if you get it ready to run, is $199. So that's going to be about $210 with tax, where this is $169. It's about $174 with tax. And running it just like this, and we're going to try brushless. I know the Stampede's brushless ready somewhat. Those drive shafts will break. This is the better deal. I mean, you're going to save about 30 bucks, and you don't have to worry about kind of that proprietary charger that you get with it that can only work as a DC charger. The charger they give you is a USB charger, so that is one of the biggest major things right there. I didn't want to slip down and fall with that. So this is going to be under a lot of Christmas trees this year. Look at that. I am impressed. Wow, look at that. Woo. This is jumping good. He's trying, y'all, he's trying. All right, I do want to try one other area off-road before I end this video. If I can get up here without falling backwards, that would not be good. I just want to see how it does off-road in this area. This is not the best area, but that's what we want to test this in non-perfect conditions. So there'll be a link below to the battery. If you guys want to get a very long-lasting battery, I'd recommend this SMC LiPo, 8400 milliamps. Look at this go. Okay, definitely got to get a Stampede two-wheel drive and do a battle, a battle royale with this, to let you guys know which one's the better Which one's the better deal? Which one's the better buy? Because that's what you want to see. If you want to see that in the comments, put it down below. If I get a couple of unique yeses, like 10 from individual people, because sometimes people put yes 10 times and I forgot to say that. We'll get them out and we'll see which one's the best truck. Look at that. Before I go brushless. Look at that, even going over the little rocks there. Come on, get through there. There we go. Rah. Almost had it there. All right, y'all, that's gonna be a run of this. So far, so good. Good job with this Arrma. I think that this is going to be a good truck for people to start out with, and even people that have been in the hobby for a while. I think they'll end up getting it too, because it actually looks really good. Looking at this, and it performs well. 25 miles per hour stock out the box. You might be able to get 26, 27 once this motor breaks in. With it, you guys see that it's actually pretty durable, and I haven't tried to break it, but you guys see it did a couple jumps there, with the exception of the motor kind of coming loose. I'll have to check the temperatures at some other point in time, but anyway, so far so good. So good job with this Arrma. Stay tuned for some more video, guys. As always, I appreciate you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next video.